Hi, guys. This is Danielle with the Motivity Podcast. I have a guest speaker on today, and I have Vladimer Botsvadze on my show today. And he is an advisory member at United States Artificial Intelligence, and he's part of data science, and he also does a ton of successful brand building. And I want him first to say hello, and then for him to give us a little bit of background on why we have him on the show today, what technology he's using, how do we digitalize podcasts, and we're going to go into so many details. You guys are going to be and listen to a great show today. So first of all, Vladimer, thank you for being on the show today.
Yeah, thanks.
Tell us where you're. First of all, where are you in the world right now?
I'm in Tbilisi now. I'm in Tbilisi now, in Eastern Europe, where I come from, one of the oldest wine producing countries. And, it's just remarkable country, where I come from. And I'm very proud of my country. And of course, we have so many tourists from the United States in our country. And anyone should explore this amazing, beautiful country, So thank you so much for inviting me to your podcast. And I'm very excited to share my actionable insights with your audience today. And I'm sure that everyone will capitalize on my future-proof insights just to build their businesses and build their personal brands,
Yeah, and I think that was such a smart thing you just said, right? Like, how do you build your personal brand when you're first starting out, right? Obviously, some people have, more funds than others, but, how do people capitalize on social media these days? What does it take to build a strategic brand that has maybe a different stamp on it, right? And how do you stand yourself apart?
Yeah, I mean, of course, we need to be empathetic. We need to show patience. We need to think in the long term. And most importantly, we need to provide value. We need to be givers rather than takers, So, it's because I believe that social media is a listening platform, not a talking platform, but majority of brands nowadays using social media like email marketing, And in the history of marketing, social media is the only platform where consumer has a voice,
Yes.
In traditional marketing, everyone was talking. Everyone was pushing their message in radios, on TV, on billboards. But now in digital, it's all about building communication. It's all about building relation with your consumers, being close to consumers and being close to my audiences. And what allowed me to build my personal brand, that I'm very close to my audience. I show gratitude, and of course, to me, building relation is like a two-way street. So communication dictates everything we do. So when you communicate properly with your audience, and when you build a relation in the long term, of course, it drives your ROI. So as a result, you build a world-class personal brands that open so many doors. So I'm now a award judge. I'm now ranked #1 global marketing thought leader by Thinkers 360. I'm an advisor at the Harvard Business Review, and I'm a high man on the totem pole. And I see the first year just because I was working 16 hours a day on building my Twitter community from scratch. But Twitter is like a cocktail party for the business world, where it is easy to join conversations and build meaningful relationships. So, Danielle.
Yeah. But wait, so go back to the brand piece for just a minute. And you just spoke about it, and you talked about hard work. You have a routine, right? You have to be consistent. Like, what does it take? What are those attributes? What did it take? What attributes did it take to build a brand like that? Listen, everyone wants to be number one, right? It's hard to be number one, right?
Danielle, self-awareness is very important, because
it is.
Yes, without self-awareness, you will not be able to build a solid personal brand, And of course, you need to be convinced in yourself that the content you create, the content you publish is expected to provide value. And you have to publish content that is in followers' best interest and not in your best interest, because there are so many people nowadays who are in sales business, and when they connect with you, they send you sales pitches. So people are tired of sales pitches.
Hey
everyone
now.
should. Yes, everyone needs to be in a branding and marketing business. For example, you are in a brand building business because you have podcasts, you
Yes,
publish information,
correct.
you invite amazing experts to your episode. So it builds your
Yes.
personal brand. That's why you are a long-term thinker rather than short-term thinker. But salespeople are very short-term thinkers. You know,
Well, that was a
they
strategy, Vladimir. So
yeah.
the strategy
So
was to get people like
yeah.
yourself
So
on the
we,
podcast
yes,
to give
yes,
insight.
whether we tweet or we post on Instagram or Facebook or on TikTok, we need to provide value. You know, we need to become the greatest publisher of information, and we need to position ourselves as CNN, BBC, Bloomberg, Yahoo Finance, and provide enlightening content to our audiences and entertain our audiences and followers. You know,
Yeah.
that is a bedrock of long-term growth. You know.
So Vladimir is saying, so and that's how this podcast started because I was having very articulate conversations about technology, and I felt like I'm only talking one to one. There should be many more people listening to these strategies and developments. So what Vladimir is saying, think bigger, right? What are people going to need in the long term? It's not a short term onesie twosies. You need a bigger strategy that gets bigger thinkers to think 360, right? To think
Yes.
about other avenues.
So I believe that you need to compete with media companies,
Yes.
and you need to publish content. You need to publish information, enlightening, informative content. So everyone will start knocking on your door just to work with you because you are in a brand building business and you are a long-term thinker and you show patience, you show empathy, which drives your ROI, you know?
Listen, yeah, and then as you guys hear, like the media is not getting great press, right? Those people that were longtime viewers and watchers, they're changing the way they get information. The industry has changed and people have changed. Ultimately, you're listening to people that are more resonating with you instead of the broader approach.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they say that great oaks grow from small acorns, and
Yes.
big things have small beginnings in life. I have started my whole journey from scratch with single tweet or with a single YouTube video. But I now work with more than 25 speakers bureaus. I'm an awards judge. I'm at the forefront of innovation and marketing, and I have become a key opinion leader just because I was tweeting, I was pushing, I was not satisfied with my performance, and I did not rest on my laurels. So my efforts paid off because I'm patient, you know.
So Vladimir, talk to me about like automation and building that into a brand. What tools maybe that you use or anything that you want to give insight to?
Danielle,
You just did everything homegrown.
I never, organic growth, organic content creation, and organic reach have been the driver of my growth because I never use these automation tools. Never, because I don't have time to explore. Because I was tweeting, I was pushing out 100 pieces of content across 8-10 social media channels. I used Tumblr, Blogger, WordPress to my advantage, you know. So I mean, I have put my eggs into different baskets just because I wanted to build brand awareness about my passion, about my commitment, about my dedication, you know. So this is how this industry works because we need to be brand builders. We need to think in the long term, you know, because these are two keys to success, you know.
That is the keys to success. So give us more ideations about keys to success, right? So that you have this brand. What do you do? How do you start formulating these ideations? And what are some of the keys that you would bring up?
When I started tweeting actively in 2014, 2015, I was very interested in entrepreneurship, content creation, in marketing, startups, you know, and I was just sharing content, what was trending in 2014, 2015. So I was also sharing successful quotes of many renowned entrepreneurs, you know, and people were interested in my content. They were sharing, retweeting me, and leaving comments on my tweets, you know, and I was very grateful. I was showing gratitude that those people were appreciating my content, you know. So I built amazing content. I gained so many endorsements on my LinkedIn.
That's awesome.
Yes, I obtained so many great recommendations on my LinkedIn as well, you know. And then in 2015, I set up my domain at vladimerbotsvadze.com, and I started building my website, and I started providing marketing consultancy services to small businesses, So,
Mhm.
then the demand for my services rose, and then I started providing speaking services, mentoring services, coaching services, teaching services, and different kinds of services, that I provide, So, Daniel, I have reinvested every penny in my ventures. I have not gone on vacations. I don't keep up with Jonas. So, I was very passionate
Well, now
about
you're the
building my business.
Jonases, aren't you? I mean, at this point,
Yes.
right? You're the Jonases
So,
of marketing.
yeah, so I have reinvested every penny in my business growth. I was hiring a graphic designer because I wanted these graphics to build my business, because it is not very easy to build a website, and just to accelerate your success forward. But it has taken a lot of hard work.
Yes.
Building a successful brand is not a walk in the park. It takes a lot of hard work.
Yeah. So talk to me about maybe even some of the platforms that you relied on. It was Twitter. It was, it was
It was
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn,
It was LinkedIn.
Instagram.
I agree with that. That is such a
Yes,
good strategy.
for example, I have capitalized on the power of YouTube to become a public speaker, because I have published my 48 videos on YouTube. I gained thousands of views, and I started working with speakers bureaus. And my each talk is a ballpark of $30,000 and $50,000 throughout the world. And I'm working with agencies. Yes, I'm working with agencies from United States to Australia, just because I have a strong personal brand.
It's true. You've made your brand. You put your name out there. You use digitalization, right? And you digitalize the
Yes.
strategy to say, hey, this is who I am, and you showed up. At the end of
Yes,
the day,
so-
you showed up. You came to the table. You worked hard, and you didn't keep up with
Yes,
anyone
because-
else. You wrote your own path. But not
Yeah, so-
everyone hears this. And
yes,
you
so-
have to give them the courage. I mean, what you're great at is your energy. I feel your energy. It comes through. You're high energetic, right? How do you get some of that? Give me some of that in my
I'm
coffee.
inspired. I'm very open-minded, Danielle, and open-mindedness is my biggest strength.
Were you always
I
open-minded?
will never stop learning. I will never stop learning.
Me either.
I will always push self-education, because self-education is what allows you to open so many doors.
So Vladimer, talk to me about, like, in the morning, what do you read? Do you read publications? Like, how do you keep yourself on track? How do you keep yourself with, making sure you get everything done in the day? Do you have,
Yes,
what do you use? How do you do it?
I love people. I love my colleagues. People who achieve their success, they inspire me also
That's
to
awesome.
achieve my success. So if anyone is successful, it means that I can also be successful. So I'm inspired by my colleagues. For example, I'm followed by millionaire and billionaire entrepreneurs from the United States, and
Oh.
I have learned how they have achieved their success. So they have inspired me to also to build my success from scratch. That's why I will never depend on a formal education and degrees, because whatever you studied at business school is water under the bridge. So if you check out, for example, top skills by the World Economic Forum, active daily learning is number 2 skill by the World Economic Forum. So it is very important just to learn daily, actively, to stay competitive in your world, in your field.
And that's a true statement. And I also do that, right? Every morning I get up, I read publications just about technology to have something to talk about or to add information into it. Or even I take the information and I reuse it on social media. So like if I see something that's apparent to technology or change, right? That's something that I would write about or something I would give input on.
Daniel, I have so much willpower, I have so much willpower.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm very patient, very determined, very dogged determined. They say that the constant dropping wears away a stone. I can depend on determination. I can depend on a constant effort. Constant effort. So I believe that I'm going to make it happen no matter what, because I love trying. If you don't try, nothing great will happen. So So you need to show patience.
Right, if they're just ideas, right? You have to
yeah,
have
so
work through,
yeah,
and follow
so
through and get jobs done. I mean, that's the whole thing. You got to get it. You got to keep moving.
yeah, so you need to show the world what you are made of, that you are on your master. You have to build your own path rather than follow the crowd. Because when you follow the crowd, then you will never go farther than crowd. So, but when you build your path, then you will go everywhere.
Yeah, and Vladimir, I think that's important. Like you could build your own scenario. You can build your own or schedule of how you want to, if it's a podcast or if it's a digital media, come up with your own schedule, but keep to that schedule because
Yes.
people like consistency and people
Yes,
like to see follow through and people like to see who you are, not just what you're talking about, but maybe inside
yes,
your
Danielle,
life. Yeah.
yes, Danielle, I was recognized by Inside Success magazine.
Congratulations.
Yes,
I read the
I was
article
top 10 inspiring business leaders.
because
Just
you're
amazing.
inspiring.
Yes, just inspiring. And also another magazine, Exhibition magazine.
So what's next then? If you've been on these magazines, right? Does it feel great or do you want more?
I mean, I demand a lot from myself that, whatever, I always bear in mind that what I have achieved is a drop in the ocean. So I always believe that the best yet to come. So I have recently joined the Gartner Marketing and Communication Awards as a judge in London. It's amazing that I can be invited as a judge. So
So
I
what are you
also
judging?
joined.
Is there an event coming up or is there something
No,
that
yes, they are organizing award ceremony in May or June,
okay.
and there are so many top brands as an entries in the award. Like big brands.
Yes.
So it's just amazing that I can recognize, core review, big organizations. So recently I was a judge at Stevie Awards, American Business Awards last year in
No
New York
way.
City.
Yeah, and who
Yes,
won?
so
Who won, or what was the formula for the winning team, or what stood out to you as you're in that room and you guys are
I
judging
mean,
that?
for me, first of all, I have judged like $1 billion marketing projects of Fortune 500 brands at Stevie Awards, and of course, the people who inspired me through their stories were those who built their success from scratch. Who built their agencies from nothing. From beginning, from zero. So I love self-made people because I'm also self-made influencer.
Interesting. So
Self-made
that
company.
resonates with you when you're
Yeah,
looking
so
at someone.
yes, I love those people who show their work ethics, that they work more than 15 hours a day, and no, they live in no excuses. But I always appreciate and reward people who live in results, who are results driven, and who provide value, who build their communities, and who are givers rather than takers.
So Vladimir, would you say that it's very, so everyone says that you should tell your story, right? Like when you're interviewing, you should talk about your brand. Do you feel
Yes.
like that if you're on that panel, do you feel like you should go into a little bit about that backstory? Do you feel like that's important to tell? Because if not, no one knows, right?
Yeah,
Like
so
where
I
you
mean,
came
my
from is
story.
probably really
Yes,
important
Daniel.
as you say
Daniel,
that.
I was first of all, I was born in Georgia, and Georgia is one of the oldest countries in the world.
Yes.
And when I was growing up in '90s in Georgia, I was burning the midnight oil to learn English, math, and geography and other useful subjects to explore the Western world. It was my dream. And I moved to the United States when I was 18, 19 in 2006. I got my visa. I got my work permit from the State Department. I was working in Washington, D.C. area. And of course, it was my dreams came true when I moved to the U.S. because I wanted to expand my horizons and widen my wings. So then, the US experience is worth its weight in gold. That's why I started seeing the world faster, easier, clearer. And, still at the age of 35, I'm very hungry, very determined, moving forward, leaving no stone unturned, going into overdrive just because I was in the New York City. And you know, when you are in New York City at the age of 19 and your CV is empty, then you have this feeling in your bones that you want to build a great personal successful brand, you know. So then Twitter emerged, Facebook emerged, Instagram emerged, and I started connecting with the world, you know. So I was very excited about the future, that I knew that if I was going to put in the work, results would come, you know.
That's amazing. That's amazing for you to see. That's amazing for you to hear, right? And you're right. Anyone can conquer their dreams. Actually, just recently on the Oscars, right? That was her
Yes.
speech. Just said it, right? The woman that won. She goes, "You should just never stop believing.
Yes,
If you
yes.
want
So
to do it, it can happen. But again, it goes back to hard work. You got to stick to a routine. You got to stay consistent. You have to have the energy like Vladimir. I don't know. He has all this
yes,
amazing
success
things
depends
through.
on success depends on backbone, not wishbone. So you have to take action in order to succeed. And if we want to take action, then we need to be ourselves. We need to choose who we are. You know, we need to choose who we are, not to be a version of someone else. You know, we have to accept who we are, and we need to start loving ourselves. We need to look ourselves in the mirror and to accept whoever we are, because we are given this God-given talent just to be successful. So everyone
And
needs to discover talent within themselves, because they can impossible is nothing, you know. They need to take action, you know. They need to become open-minded. They need to leave their comfort zone, because sky is the limit, you know.
And you're right, Vladimir. It is all about that. And keep in mind, with social media and all these digital platforms, you could reinvent the wheel a couple times. Like, the cool thing is you could really figure out what works and what doesn't work. But on the
Yes,
back end, it's about connection and maintaining it. But there's so many. I mean, there's a lot of platforms today.
yes.
We could, talk about TikTok, or we could bring that platform up.
You
But
know,
yeah,
the world navigates under one currency, and it's called attention. You know, the
correct.
world. And marketing is the biggest driver of business results. So whoever strikes while the iron is hot, they win in the long term. Whoever is close to consumers, whoever provides value, whoever is close to audience. If you are closest to your audience, you will build a world-class personal brand. You know.
Yeah, and I love
So,
this. Yeah,
Daniel,
go on.
Daniel,
Mhm.
the market decides. Market decides what is good and bad. The market is a
Correct.
decision. Market is a decision maker. The market decided that I'm a world-class marketing thought leader. You know, not executives and not people. You know, the market decided that I have provided value. That I'm a giver, not a taker. Because if I was a taker, I would not be talking to you right now, right?
That's true. That is true. And he is on the podcast, which is awesome. And then he'll, repost the podcast, which we hope that would happen. No, but at the end of the day, right? I love, listen, there's a lot of noise also on social media, and there's a lot of people feeding you information to get you to, start an Amazon website, or to start this real estate thing. I think what Vladimir's saying is believe in yourself and put your brand out there and let the market help you drive that. Instead
Yeah.
of
So
getting just wishy-washed on this new idea to make, $10,000, really think about where you want to be. It's not the short term, it's the long-term play. And
yeah.
and that's
So
again what I'm hearing a lot of is about that longer term strategy.
exactly, Daniel. You know, we used to live in a time which was dominated by
Right.
doctors, lawyers, and engineers. Now
And
we live in a time which is dominated by coders, programmers, thought leaders, content creators, and content creators are at the forefront of any industry.
yes.
Whoever creates content, they are in growth mode, not in survival mode.
No.
But people who depend on formal education, they are in a survival mode. I love the quote of Jeff Bezos, who said that we don't need to be in a survival mode. We need to be in growth mode. You know?
Correct. Interesting. I mean, that's a very interesting concept, and people don't realize how easily it is to use the platforms. Like you said, you taught yourself, right? Just take a couple hours and see what you could create. There's a million platforms out there that are easy to use. They're free. You could just start creating content, find something that you like and start playing around with it. It's not hard. I taught my son, who's 7 years old, how to use Canva the other day. He said, I want to make a logo. I said, here, I have a subscription. Go at it. Just see what happens.
Yes.
You can't mess it up.
Yes.
I mean,
so Danielle, we need to address the elephant in the room.
Okay.
We need to acknowledge that formal education no longer provides a positive ROI, but your self-education and the content you create will provide a positive ROI. Whatever your goals are, you will build a world-class personal brand. And social media acts like a Swiss Army knife for business growth. You build a world-class personal brand, you get close to your consumers, you get closer to your audiences. And building a brand is what makes all the difference, you know?
But Vladimer, what if someone doesn't want a personal brand out there? Are you saying they just shy away?
We are in a digital age. We live in a digital age. We work in a digital age, you know? And this is a device which holds attention of our society. If people don't know what is going on in this device, they are out of business, you know? If they don't have a solid Google results, they don't exist, because people Google you to understand what you have achieved, and they make decisions based on your Google results. So everyone needs to take care of their personal brand and Google results, you know? You can download Twitter, you can download TikTok, you can download Instagram and start sharing some thoughts with the world, you know, what you are doing, what is your passion, and start connecting with the world, you know, because if they don't like video marketing, they can record their sound and start pushing their podcast episodes, you know.
Yeah, and so listen, Vladimer and I are here. We can help you guys ever get started on a podcast. I do it from my home. Vladimer's at his home. This is not, you know, we're using computers and microphones. We're not using anything that's extravagant, right? We're talking, I mean, I get a little bit lucky because I have a video unit.
You are right, Danielle. And yes, it used to cost a fortune to reach global audiences.
Not anymore.
Years ago. You need to hire a media company to reach global audiences like 30 years ago. But now everything is at your fingertips. You need to take action. You need to be curious. And formal education wants us to forget curiosity and to depend on degrees, but we need to show curiosity, because curiosity is one of the key drivers of growth. You know?
Yeah, it's true. Listen, you got to take some time and you got to learn how to do it. Come up with a formula that works, stay consistent, and think about, just even like I say, like, think about your brand. Like you have a brand. Everyone has a brand. They talk to their family, their friends. There's a brand. People rely on you for some sort of information. Maybe that's the content that you put out. Maybe that's how you advise people or help people. We need more helping and we need better content out there. And there's a big, broad need for it. It's never going to stop now. I mean, it's never stopping. It's never slowing down. It's changing. It's moving, but it's not going to stop, right? Obviously we have the metaverse coming and other pieces of it. The AI is coming and it's here.
Yes.
But that doesn't change the game. The game of digital content and putting out good content will always be there. It won't change.
Yes.
It won't.
So what is the ROI of football for Lionel Messi? Right, billions of dollars.
Billions.
And what is the ROI of social media for global brands? Trillions of dollars. Trillions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
So social media is an ultimate game changer. You know, when I meet executives, they start complaining about social media, how powerful it is, and they complaining that their kids spend too much time on social media, and they want social media to be regulated.
Right.
It is impossible. Yes, it is impossible to regulate social media because social media is the only way to exist and to be in survival mode, you know?
Yeah, the brands rely on it. At the back end, the brands are relying on the strategy of social media.
Yeah, and just imagine, Danielle, how many brands have been disrupted since 2010. So many hospitality brands have been disrupted by Airbnb because Brian Chesky is active on Twitter and builds Airbnb's products through listening Airbnb's users on Twitter, you know?
Correct.
There are so many examples of disruptions. Everyone needs to take action. Everyone needs to act like a startup, a small company instead of a big corporation.
I love disruptors.
Yes.
I'm a big fan, as you know, as a disruptor. I think that the power and knowledge are going to get you further. The more you understand and the more you listen to, and think about the strategies. Look at Airbnb strategies. Any platform that they come out with new strategies, how to get new people in their platform and using their platform, that's the smartest stuff I've ever seen. And pay attention to it. When the iPhone releases new software, look at the code. They tell you exactly what releases happened. Those releases drive revenue. It drives revenue because the phone and the capabilities just changed, because it released new capabilities that was competing with someone else, and they deployed a software that they could take on something else. Those factors are very, very, very important factors. And so I say to I mentor a girl all the time. I said, what was the software updates that just got pushed out? I don't know. I said, you have to go back and read the notes. The notes are key. And they give you the details. It's what's inside that you have to think about. What did that device just become or do that someone else was doing and they wanted their business? So just think about those things when you're thinking about technology and platforms. And being a disruptor is such a key factor in it. It really is.
Yes. So,
I mean, this is a cool thing. It's something that Cisco did. And now, so we have video equipment. We can video and talk and communicate really effectively. We do hybrid work very effectively. We coined the term on hybrid work. Cisco has a partnership with WeWork. That means I could go to any WeWork and use my equipment now. So that's so smart. You're getting 25,000 Cisco employees to come to your office anywhere in the US to do a video call. Great. Now guess what we're talking about? WeWork. Those words are coming out of our mouths. It's a simple partnership that happens, or a software upgrade, and they made the technology easier. Make it easier. It's easy to use. Just pay a little bit of attention. Trust me, it's easy. If I could do it, anyone could do it.
Yes. Danielle, when I work as a speaker with top brands and when I'm invited to master classes and workshops, I advise marketing teams to put out and publish 200 pieces of content across 8-10 social media channels. If they are technology companies, of course, they can have emerging technology podcasts, 5G podcasts, metaverse podcasts, Web3 podcasts. Marketing teams need to fire on all cylinders and to live in excuses, to forget excuses.
That's so true. I'm so sick of the excuses. Why can't you do it? We could do it. We could get it done. Let's just do it.
Yes.
I'm such on the other side. Let's just go. Keep going. You just don't stop. And if one strategy doesn't work, then you pivot. Try something else.
Yes.
Nothing is, there's a billion ideas out there. And a lot of people, pay attention, listen to what other people are saying, and then come up with your own ideation.
Yes. So the internet is a real world. Whatever we live is a secondary, I believe.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes,
little scary.
There are 8 billion people in the world and 5.3 billion mobile users, 5 billion internet users, and 4.8 billion social media users. We can reach billions of people through content creation at no cost.
He's right. He's right.
Yes.
Vladimir's right.
Yeah, so you don't pay to traditional media to distribute your content, because downloading Twitter is free, distributing content is free. So everyone needs to take action,
You're right. So we heard it here. I think the best advice that we gave, or one of the most powerful things you said, was, it is, just keep doing it. Be consistent, like you're saying, right? Just do it. Just start doing it. Just start getting your name out there, building your brand. If you need help driving your brand, obviously Vladimer is here and anyone could reach out to him. Vladimer, how do they find you? As someone's like, how do I find this guy?
they can visit me at my website at vladimerbotsvadze.com, where they can explore my services such as speaking, mentoring, coaching, also teaching, and also they can connect with me on LinkedIn. Also follow me on Twitter at Vlado Botsvadze, also Instagram at Vladimer Botsvadze. So I'm always open to new connections. So it is always a win-win when I partner with brands, and just remarkable that how much we can achieve together,
Yeah. And because he has the cutest accent, I'm going to spell his last name for everyone that's listening, it's Botsvadze. And also in the notes of the podcast, we'll make sure that we put all his social media links if you want to find him. So just as the listeners are listening, if you go into the details of the podcast, you'll see all the notes about the show and who's on. So a little bit of information. Vladimer, any last words or any other advice you want to give to our listeners?
Yeah, I mean, it is a greatest time to build a business and be successful nowadays.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to take action. Everyone needs to leave their comfort zones, and everyone needs to become a long-term thinker. Long-term thinker. And if you start showing patience, and if you start side hustle, because I have started my whole journey as a side hustle because I was working from 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. That's
so
how
Vladimer and I are similar in that. So this is my side hustle, as Vladimer knows. And he knows I have a big career, but I love talking to people and I love meeting people. And so I was having all these great conversations like this. So, it's an honor.
You can be at the forefront of marketing and innovation through building your side hustle. So if you talk the talk, also starting walking the walk, and I'm sure that you will be successful.
I think anyone listening can be successful. Vladimer, thank you so much for being on the show. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I hope you guys, got a lot of value out of the show. I think I might listen to the show in my sleep, and I'll just keep playing Vladimer's voice. So I get all his energy when I wake up tomorrow morning. No,
absolutely. We need to have high energy.
Yes.
And we need to be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed in order to be successful.
Exactly. We'll end it on bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Vladimer, thank you for being on the show. This is Danielle with the Motivity Podcast. I hope you got a lot out of this conversation. I got a wealth of information, and I think just a little bit of energy that I needed. Even though I come with a lot, it's always more to have a little bit more in my tank. So Vladimer was able to give that to me today. Again, this is Danielle. Keep listening to the show anywhere you listen to podcasts, and make it a great day. And we're always learning about technology. Read the notes, learn something new, discover a new platform. It doesn't take a lot of time, and endorse technology. It's really important to the future of our world.